If you suffered a lot in the past, perhaps your biggest problem today isn't the pain that happened. Perhaps it's the way your brain learned to protect itself afterward. He learned to expect the worst, to distrust everything, to react too quickly, and he began to call that strength. But I need to tell you something important. If you don't retrain your mind, the pain you survived may begin to determine your future. Not the pain itself, but the way your brain was programmed by it. Survival was necessary. No one here will diminish what you went through, but continuing to live as if everything is still a threat, as if everyone is going to betray you, as if the ground is going to give way at any moment, can steal your peace, your focus, your relationships, and your real ability to change. And today, here on the Calm Method channel, you're going to see what to do with that. If you're watching this now and feel this content resonates with you, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. It can be anywhere, any state, any city. I want to know who's on the other side, because today isn't about understanding what happened to you. Today is about what you're going to do with your brain from now on. Let's begin. Workout 1. Train your brain to stop expecting the worst. There is a pattern that appears very frequently in people who have suffered a great deal, and it doesn't appear in an obvious way. It doesn't arrive with a warning. It settles in silently, in everyday life, in small decisions, in automatic reactions. The pattern is this: you start living constantly in alert mode. Before anything even happens, your mind has already raced to the worst-case scenario. You're doing well at work, but you're already imagining being fired. The bill is paid, but you're already anxious about the next one. The person you like is treating you well, but you're already expecting the moment you'll be replaced or left behind. You're not being pessimistic by choice. You're being your own safety net. What happened was this: his brain learned through experience that good things don't last and that bad things arrive without warning. So it started functioning like a constant alarm, always on, always scanning the environment for danger. In the United States, many people live this reality every day. They wake up early, work hard, take care of their families, pay the bills with sacrifice, and yet still feel a permanent anguish that has no clear explanation. It's not weakness. It's a brain that has been trained by pain to never let its guard down. The problem is that this constant alarm consumes energy, a lot of energy. Energy that you would need to think clearly, make better decisions, and stay focused on what really matters. And here's the twist: the brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening now and what it's only imagining. For it, the imagined threat activates the same emergency system as the real threat. The training begins with a simple question. When you feel that anxiety coming on, that feeling that something is going to go wrong, stop for a few seconds and ask yourself, is this really happening now, or is my mind replaying an old pain? That pause alone interrupts the automatic cycle, and here's a practical tip. Grab a piece of paper or open your phone's notes app. Write down the worry that's consuming you. Right below it, write down one small action, just one thing that you can take today to address it, not tomorrow. Today. This doesn't solve the whole problem, but it trains your brain to switch from paralysis mode to response mode. And it's this difference that over time changes everything. Workout 2. Train your brain not to turn isolation into identity. When you experience many disappointments, when the people who should have been by your side weren't, when you asked for help and no one showed up, when you opened up and were used or ignored, the brain learns a quick and efficient lesson. Learn that depending on someone is dangerous. And that's when the construction of an armor begins. You start doing everything alone. You stop asking for help. You stop opening up. You stop relying on anyone. And after a while, you start calling that independence, strength, maturity. And some of that is true, yes, learning to solve your own problems, to be functional, to not be emotionally dependent on everyone, that has value. But there's a fine line between healthy independence and chronic isolation. And when you cross that line without realizing it, You start blocking out not only the people who could hurt you, but also those who could help you grow. In the United States, this pattern is very common among workers who are always rushing, always solving problems, always moving forward. The routine is intense, money is tight, time is scarce, and the feeling that you can't depend on anyone becomes a way of life. But constant isolation prevents healing, it prevents real growth, it prevents you from receiving new perspectives, true support, and the energy that only comes from genuine human connection. Here's what needs to be clear. You don't need to give everyone access. You don't need to tell your life story to just anyone. But you also can't live as if no one in the world can get close to you without hurting you. The training here is a micro-action. Today, or this week, choose someone you consider at least minimally trustworthy. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be someone who won't use what you say against you. And share a small truth with them, not the whole story, not the whole weight, just one small, real thing. This is not weakness. It's training. It's you teaching your brain that trust is possible little by little at the right pace. If this video resonates with you, go ahead and give it a like. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who need this content. And if you know someone who's carrying a silent burden like this, send this video to them now. Workout 3. Train your brain to stop reacting to old pain. This is one of the most difficult patterns to identify because it disguises itself very well. You explode over something small. You disappear without warning when someone hurts you. You respond curtly and sharply even when the person wasn't attacking you. You distrust a simple comment. You interpret a look as rejection, silence as abandonment, disagreement as an attack. And when the people around you question your reaction, you feel like they're the ones who didn't understand, that they were the insensitive ones, that your reaction made perfect sense. And it did. But that was for a situation that happened in the past, not for the one that is happening now. Here's what's happening in your brain. It has a very efficient emotional memory. Every time a current situation has any similarity to an old pain, even a small one, it triggers the same defense protocol, the same anger, the same withdrawal, the same distrust. As if the danger were exactly the same as before. This worked to protect you when you needed it. But today, at home, at work, in your relationships, this automatic response may be destroying things you don't want to destroy. Many people in the United States are losing important relationships, job opportunities, and valuable connections because of reactions that don't even belong to the present moment. They are reactions from the past, operating in the present, sabotaging the future. The training here is based on the 10-second rule. Before responding, before reacting, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. You'll notice they were tense, and ask yourself honestly, am I responding to this person, to this specific situation right now, or am I responding to what has been done to me before? 10 seconds. That's all you need to switch from automatic reaction mode to conscious response mode. It's not about suppressing what you feel. It's about giving your brain enough time to distinguish the past from the present. And this distinction, trained little by little, is what separates reaction from emotional maturity. It's what separates chaos from control. It's what separates a life dominated by pain from a life built with clarity. Workout 4. Train your brain to go back to doing simple things every day. Prolonged suffering messes everything up. It's not just the emotional aspect. It messes with your sleep, your eating habits, your concentration, your discipline, your routine. You know exactly what you need to do. You know you need to save money. You need to study. You need to get organized. You need to take better care of your body. But you can't maintain it. You start full force on Monday and stop on Thursday. You plan a lot and execute little. You have good intentions, but lack the energy to transform intention into consistent action. This isn't laziness. It's not a lack of character. It's an exhausted brain trying to function in basic survival mode. When the nervous system becomes overloaded for too long, the brain begins to cut energy expenditure, and the first things cut are precisely those that require long-term planning, discipline, and execution. This is neuroscience, not personal weakness. Many families in the United States live with this reality of chronic overload: 2 jobs, bills piling up, children to raise, no support network, no real respite. And the body endures, but the mind becomes heavy, slow, and scattered. The solution isn't a drastic change. A tired brain doesn't respond well to major transformations. It responds to small, safe repetitions. Therefore, the training here is based on the 3 daily minimums method. First, take the smallest step. Tidy up something small in your environment. It could be a drawer, your desk, or simply clearing the dishes from the sink. Something physical, concrete, and simple. Your brain will register that you've taken control of something, even if it's small, and that releases a safety signal. Second minimum, dedicate 10 minutes to an important task. Just 10 minutes, not an entire project, not a huge list. 10 minutes on something that truly matters for your future. It could be studying, it could be organizing your finances, it could be writing, it could be anything you keep putting off. 10 minutes. Third minimum, spend a few minutes without a screen. It could be in silence, it could be in prayer, it could be breathing, it could be reading something physical, it could just be looking out the window. A few minutes without digital stimulation, letting your brain truly rest. These 3 minimums practiced every day won't solve your life overnight, but they will teach your brain that it's still in control, that it can still act, that discipline still exists within you, waiting to be reactivated. This is how you rebuild a routine after a lot of suffering, not with an explosion of strength, with silent repetition. Workout 5. Train your brain to choose peace without feeling guilty. This last workout might seem the strangest of all to many people, but it's one of the most important. When everything is calm, when there are no urgent problems, when the week is normal and nothing has exploded, some people feel an inexplicable discomfort, a restlessness, a feeling that something is going to go wrong soon, a need to create problems where there are none, to worry about something, to seek drama, to spend hours on their cell phones consuming heavy content. If you've ever felt this way, don't panic. There's a real reason for it. The brain, having spent a long time in survival mode, learns to function at that frequency. Chaos, urgency, constant stress, all of this becomes the normal state. And when peace arrives, the brain doesn't know how to process it. To it, the calm can seem strange. It can even seem dangerous, as if that quietness were a sign that something bad is about to happen. So he seeks stimulation. He creates worry. He finds problems where there were none, not by conscious choice, but because he is seeking the environment he has learned to inhabit. In the United States, this search for constant stimulation mixes with the absurd volume of content available on any screen, and the result is a generation of people who can never simply be okay, who feel guilty when they are resting, who confuse peace with unproductivity and silence with wasting time. You don't need to earn peace. You don't need to suffer more to have the right to rest. The workout here is a simple ritual that you can do before going to sleep or right after waking up. Spend 5 minutes without any screens, no cell phone, no television, nothing. It can be in silence, it can be in prayer, it can be in gratitude, it can just be breathing slowly. And during those 5 minutes, mentally repeat with conviction this idea: I don't need to live in a state of war to be safe today. It may seem too simple, but you are literally sending a new message to a nervous system that has learned that war is the default state. You are telling it that now it's different, that now it's safe to lower its guard. That peace is not a sign of danger, it's where you will grow. Do this every day, 5 minutes, no screens, with intention. I need to be direct with you now. The past may have trained your brain to survive, but now you need to train it to live. You don't need to forget what happened. Nobody is asking you to. What happened, happened, and it was real, and it was heavy, and it left scars. But you need to stop letting that decide how you think today. How you react today, how you rest today, how you trust today, how you build your life today. These 5 exercises are not a cure. They are not a magic formula. They are starting points. They are small interventions that, when practiced consistently, change the pattern that suffering has installed in your brain. You don't need to do everything at once. That would be a mistake. Here's the micro challenge. Choose just one of these 5 workouts. Only one. The one that made the most sense to you today. And do it for 7 consecutive days. Not 7 perfect days. 7 days of trying. Don't try to change your entire life all at once. Train your brain with small repetitions every day. That's how real change happens. And now, before you go, tell me in the comments, which of the 5 workouts are you going to start today? Write the number, write a word, write anything. That's already an act of commitment to yourself. If this video resonated with you, please like it now, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to the Calm Method channel to continue this process. And the next video that's appearing on the screen now, I highly recommend you watch it. It directly complements what you just saw here and will help you better understand where these patterns we discussed today come from. You've made it this far. That already says a lot about who you are. Until the next video.